Everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, Mario Heron. I'm in San Diego. Josh, you still in Philadelphia?
I'm in Philadelphia.
Mario's in DC. It's a long story. It'll be part of the rant, I'm sure, as far as what went wrong on travel day. We did say the show was going to be on a Friday, so again, shocker, here we are. So if you have the notifications on, you know that we're on live right now. Again, please subscribe and like to the show. Appreciate everyone that's here to join us today, though. Talk a little Charger football, always a good time. What can I do? As I see out there, guys, I'm so confused. I thought it was tomorrow. Angie, you're absolutely right. It was supposed to be tomorrow. But if we did it tomorrow, we wouldn't be able to do it because Josh will be on an airplane, finally trying to get out of the city of brotherly love. Do you feel the brotherly love in Philadelphia?
No. The people that work at this airport are the worst people in the world. Angie, I'm sorry. Everybody, I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's 100% my fault. I was supposed to be on a plane right now. I missed my flight. Today's a holiday. People, aren't working at the airport. It's just a mess. And weather's not good. I'm sorry, Angie. Please put on your notifications for people like me that screw this whole thing up.
That's why you have to subscribe.
Yeah.
Kids, point this out for free.
Yeah, I'm going to point this out, too, because obviously I'm a West Coast baseball fan. Josh is a West Coast baseball fan. Mario's a Cubs fan when it comes to baseball. But here's the deal. If you're a free agent in baseball, I will never understand why you ever pick a team on the East Coast, ever. Like, because of these rain delays that you have to deal with, forget about the humidity and the bugs and everything. But the fact, go ahead, roll your eyes all you want. But Mario, I'll give you an example. Let's say you have to go to work, all right? You have to be at work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All of a sudden they say, Mario, it's great that you're here, but guess what? Work's not going to start till 8:30 tonight, but you have to stay here. And then, you know how you normally can count on getting here, get out of here, Mario, at 11:30 at night? You're probably going to get out at 2:30. And Mario, we're going to see you again tomorrow for a morning work shift at 10 o'clock in the morning. You see the difference? You don't have to worry about these rain and weather delays on the West Coast. Why would you possibly pick a team on the East Coast, Trey Turner? I don't understand. I'm still bitter towards Trey Turner, like you wouldn't believe, by the way.
So you don't have to worry about, like it never rains on the West Coast. There's no earthquakes or anything like that.
We've never canceled a game for an earthquake. We don't. Okay. And it hardly ever rains. I think the Dodgers have been in Dodger Stadium since 1962, and they've had 8 rainouts. That's it. They don't even know where the tarp is.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm just saying, you're wrong. Yeah.
I'm not wrong. And spring training on the West, in Arizona, all the ballparks are 10 minutes away from each other. You go to the East Coast and play in Florida, spring training, every ballpark's 2 hours away.
You know what? It's a little bit of grit, and sometimes you need that in life. When you go outside and it's April and it's 30 degrees, you need that. It's a little bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Right. Again, a lot of anger on my end directed towards Trey Turner because his wife had to be near her mother. Okay. I'm making $30 million a year. Let's get a nanny.
Okay. Also, I think you've done okay. I think since having the greatest baseball player we've ever seen, trading for Mookie Betts, you have like every good pitcher ever. He's just on the IR. Yeah. I think you're okay.
Yeah, we're doing okay. All right. I
said IR. Is it called IR in baseball?
No, it's IL. And I just I like things to be perfect, not okay. That's where I'm at. All right. There you go. All right. So here's one of the things we talked about the show that we had coming in. I think it's going to be a fun show because I want to see what people have to say in the comments as well. We were talking about who was your first favorite Charger? Who made you fall in love with the team? Who was the guy you went to school talking about? Who was the person when school got out and you grabbed a football in the backyard that you imitated? Who was your favorite Charger? I want to start right there.
All right. Well, I was born in 1993, so 31 years old. I became a big Charger fan early 2000s, and that was around the time of Drew Brees and LT. And Drew Brees was not very good when I first started watching the Chargers. He's actually a disappointing pick at the time. And LT was awesome, right? LT was the guy you'd see everybody wearing the jerseys all over the place. He was my first favorite Charger. He's not my favorite Charger of all time, but he was my first favorite Charger.
I'm in the same boat as you, Josh. He's my first one. I thought he was so sick with the visor, the ESPN commercial where he's putting it up and he's throwing it in the mailbox and he's just getting them all wrong. I thought that was really funny. It like killed me when I was like in first grade. I thought it was the funniest thing of all time. I love that he would run up the same hill as Walter Payton. He was the most dominant running back in the whole league. I thought he was funny. He was awesome. He was so fun to watch every single Sunday.
Yeah, LT literally built that same hill in his backyard where he lived in San Diego.
Beautiful.
He literally built that hill. And the second his NFL career was over, he went to the Jets, he sold that house and he moved out of here, and we haven't seen him since. But that's that was basically it. He got a Jets tattoo on his calf. That was awesome. Little bitter towards LT in a lot of ways. I'll say this though, because I was covering the team on a regular basis, not only nationally for ESPN, but I was covering the team where the Chargers station. So we were around LT a lot. LT had a much better career than I thought he was going to have. I mean, I was lucky enough to do the first interview ever with LT because we were the Chargers station. He got drafted. He goes right on. Didn't know a lot about LT. I thought if you're going to trade out of that pick, if you remember, everyone thought they were taking Michael Vick with the first pick. And all of a sudden, a few hours before the draft, they trade out of that pick. And they end up grabbing LT and they get a bunch of guys off of that. It ended up being a really good trade for the Chargers overall. Not merchandise sales, because every kid in America had a Michael Vick Falcons number 7 jersey. But as far as LT and the excitement and being behind him, he was the Michael Jordan of the NFL for a long time. I mean, literally, I had to look at him and go, we're looking at the best football player in the world right here in front of us. How lucky are we to look at a guy like LT? LT fell off a little bit for me when he got hurt against the Patriots in the AFC Championship game and just sat on the bench with his dark visor on and didn't say anything to Michael Turner or anybody else to act like, hey, I'm still here for my team. Whereas you have Phillip Rivers, who blows out his ACL and still played in that game. You know, LT just felt like an eye guy. That always pisses me off in a team sport. So that kind of made me a little bitter. The fact that LT works with the Chargers now makes me a little bit bitter. Sean Merriman working the Chargers now kind of makes me go, what the hell, dude? Like, your entire career, you cheated when you were with the Chargers. You're taking PEDs the entire time. Your career went right in the toilet once you stopped taking PEDs. People were comparing you to a better player than Seau. Seau was awesome. For me, my first favorite player on the Chargers was Kellen Winslow. Now, and I remember the situation where, Kellen Winslow became my guy. I was a little kid. My grandparents are having a 45th wedding anniversary. My parents say, we're flying out to LA to celebrate your grandparents because I don't think their health, they're going to make it to number 50. We're going to celebrate number 45. And I happened to be in Los Angeles when Kellen Winslow and the Chargers went to Miami and played in the greatest football game of all time. And Kellen Winslow, I think you can make the argument that was the greatest individual performance in a football game we've ever seen. You guys, way before your time, but you guys are both aware of the game I'm talking about, correct?
Correct.
Mari, you shaking your head?
You refresh my memory.
Okay. The Chargers go to Miami. It's January, I think January 2nd. January 2nd, 1982. Okay.
Can never forget it.
No, they show it all the time on TV. It's known as the greatest game of all time. Winslow did everything. I think he scored like 5 touchdowns. He blocked an extra point. He kept the Chargers going. They go to overtime because the Chargers couldn't hold on to like a 28-0 lead. And we've seen that before. And then when he leaves the field, talk about leaving it all on the field, he gets basically dragged off the field by his teammates. Can't even stand up. It's so hot, in Miami. Next week, they play in Cincinnati, and it's, 50-something below, and they lose to the Bengals on a chance to go to the Super Bowl to take on the Niners. But that game was absolutely insane. And that's when I was like, I'm a Kellen Winslow fan. Number 80. Winslow's my guy. So in the backyard with my friends, hey, just throw it high. That's, because Kellen Winslow's a big dude. Big Kellen. Big guy. When I came to San Diego and I'm in radio and I started doing Charger shows, I had no idea that Kellen Winslow wasn't in good favor with the Spanos family. I asked Dean, when are you going to retire number 80? And then I was told after that interview, don't ever do that again. Like, do not mention Kellen's name and do not mention retiring his number. And Kellen's not in good standing with the Chargers and with the Spanos family. And they told me, shut the hell up if you want to keep working in radio on the Charger broadcast. But for me, Kellen Winslow is my first favorite Charger of all time. Usually everyone goes to the quarterback. But Dan Fouts, to me, there was nothing cool about Dan Fouts. As someone wrote last week, Dan Fouts with the yellow pants, it was cool. Dan Fouts didn't even have a cool, drop back. Like most guys, you do the 3, the 5, the 7-step drop. You're sideways, you're turning, you look the safety off, you make the pass. Dan Fouts used to run back like this, straight back. He just backpedal, and that football be going back and forth. And I go, there's nothing cool like about that. And Dan didn't even have like a good body. He had that weird beard. Like nobody had the beard back in 1982. There's nothing cool about Dan Fouts. And he had 8 million star receivers. Like, dude, everybody would be good with this receiver group that he had. I was like, Dan was just a product in the environment. And if you look at his stats, Dan Fouts was terrible in the postseason. Just a horrible postseason quarterback. And to make matters worse, as Phillip Rivers became my favorite guy on the team for a long time, Dan Fouts always rat-effed him on TV all the time. Dan Fouts always took shots at Phillip Rivers, always irritated me. That's it.
The worst, dude. Yeah, no, I mean that was a good rant right there. That was really good. From what I'm looking at, Kellen Winslow had 1 touchdown of the game. You said he had 5.
I thought he had 5. It felt like 5.
It felt like
maybe
5.
He had 5 against the Raiders early in the year. I know he had 5 in one game. Don't worry about it, Mario. You don't need to sit there and grab your sinuses like you got a real banger of a headache. Okay, I was freaking 11 years old. Let's calm the hell down. Doing the best.
And you asked me. You remember it as it was 20 years before I was born. My parents even that.
20 years. It was 26 years before you were born. Yeah.
That's how old I am now.
Well, hold on. No, 16 years before you were born, right? You born in 98?
Yeah, 98.
There you go. I'm firing a big dip. So calm down.
There you go. My favorite player of all time, my first favorite player, like I said, was LT, but my favorite Charger of all time was Phillip Rivers. I played quarterback when I was younger, and I thought he was the man. There was nothing cool about Phillip Rivers, right? He threw weird. His son throws just like him, Gunnar Rivers, who's one of the top quarterbacks for his grade. But there's nothing cool about him. He didn't have the cool cleats. He didn't run cool. He didn't run really at all. He threw weird. He had that southern accent in San Diego, which was just awesome. Dude, he was the best because as a person that loves a team, you want to think that these guys are busting their ass, right? And they're giving everything they can. And it doesn't work out that way. You see a lot of guys out there, you got to question, are they even trying today? You never once, at least I never felt once, that Phillip Rivers wasn't giving everything that he had in every play of every game. He was the man. I really wish the Chargers would have won for him because I felt like he was the Chargers. Like his identity was the Chargers. The first person you think of post-LT was Phillip Rivers. I understand they had Antonio Gates and, they had Sean Merriman when he was really good and Vincent Jackson, all these other guys, but Phillip Rivers was the voice of the Chargers. He was outspoken. He didn't cuss. He was a great role model. And I thought he was just the coolest Charger when I was a kid. And I still really appreciate him to this day.
You're leaving out the most important thing about Phillip Rivers, that he never cussed and that he would talk so much trash and didn't cuss. There's 2 people on this planet that I think are the best trash talkers, and it's Phillip Rivers and it's Charles Sonnen. And then one thing they have in common is they never swore. And I always thought, that is such a different mental warfare, talking smack to a guy. Like what the best clip is, he's screaming in the defender's ear, and the guy looks at the ref, goes, "Hey, what the?" He goes, "What did I do? I didn't do anything." It's an amazing clip and one of my favorites. It's hard not to like Phillip. He was kind of like a Larry Birdish, kind of the NFL, where nothing he did was pretty, but goddamn, did you freaking love him. And you loved everything about him because he was just gritty and he represented the team in the city. The guy I'm going with, and this is probably on brand for every.
Hold on. Did you just cuss when you just said the best thing about him is you never cuss and then you drop a swear word?
Hey Dave, let's not hang on everyone's insecurities.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's relax over there, big guy. Christ. As I was saying.
Before so rudely interrupted. Go ahead.
One of my favorite players, and again, this is on par with all the guys that I love, but Darren Sproles, the 5'6" electric machine. He got the ball on every return, and you're like, dude, what the hell is going to happen? This was also in the era of the Hester and the Gibbs came later on in Cleveland. That style of just, how is this little guy going to get through this whole line? How is this guy going to get in the end zone? And he did it. That fired me up. And just give a little inspiration to all the small guys out there. But Darren Sproles, big fan, man. Freaking love that guy.
All right. One thing Josh didn't bring up too is when, obviously, I was around Charger football a lot when they were in San Diego. When Josh was in high school and you're eventually going to Alabama to play quarterback, Rivers, I brought Josh with me to Charger practice. Rivers talked to you for a long time. He gave you advice. He was cool as can be. I mean, he didn't have to do any of that stuff. Rivers was so cool to Josh, it was insane. And then he would do other interviews on the same station that I was on, even when I wasn't on, and he would talk about Josh during those interviews. I mean, it was really, really down to earth. I mean, we all know Philip Rivers is a down to earth guy, and we know he has $200 million in the bank account. Dude, you would never know it. Just like that neighbor that you wish you had. He's an above board guy and not a guy only when the cameras are on, for sure.
I think Philip Rivers set a high standard for Justin Herbert. Maybe that's why we're on Justin Herbert's case so much about not being vocal, because we're used to Philip Rivers. I mean, that's the guy that would always let Eric Weddle know that he's coming for him. You know, Eric Weddle's up there too, by the way. Sorry, favorite Chargers. He's definitely top three. I think my top three defensive Chargers all time has to be Sale, Derwin James, and Eric Weddle. But for Philip Rivers, he was so vocal with the guys on the team. He'd be constantly talking trash to the guys on the other team. He'd be talking trash to Eric Weddle and the guys on the team, to the defense. And then you have Justin Herbert, who I'm sure does it too. But since we never see it, like we always see Philip Rivers, it's kind of like he has a big shoes to fill in that sense of the guy that's the vocal leader, that's the quarterback, the captain. I don't know. Maybe we're too hard on Justin Herbert. I mean, people get mad at us every time we bring up this subject, but I feel like Philip Rivers just set a high standard for Justin Herbert in that department.
Well, they're so different too, I think. Like it's, Philip versus Herbert. Herbert's very to himself, very, very quiet, not a Southern guy by any means. And, like if you're interviewing him, as soon as it's over, he's like, all right, thanks. And then he wants out of there. He doesn't want to stick around. Philip's going to talk to you for a little bit. He's got that Southernness in him. And I think they're just so on different ends of the spectrum in that. And just in terms of how they play, right? Like watching him's nice to the eyes. There is nothing nice to the eyes about watching Philip Rivers. With all due respect, Dave.
I think you throw an insult. You just do all due respect.
No. I mean, was he not like? Was it smooth? Like,
no, there's nothing cool about it. Nobody went out there and goes, to go out in the backyard and start throwing like Uncle Rico. I mean, there's nothing cool about it. His form. It also looked like the most catchable pass of all time. Anyone who's ever seen a Charger game, especially in person, like, dude, I could catch that. Like, he never threw the ball. Like, there are those guys in the NFL, the old saying, that guy could throw the ball through a barn. Rivers wasn't that guy. He just led the receivers perfectly. They'd get open, they break away from the guy that's covering them, and man, it was just a soft pass ready to catch. Ask Keenan Allen. I mean, Keenan Allen must have been living the dream for years, going, as soon as I break away, because I'm a great route runner, there's no one that's going to deliver me the ball in a position of safety, number one, but two is to do my thing. Then Philip Rivers. He was awesome. I mean, you can make the argument that he is underrated in his career. And maybe if he played in the bigger market, let's say the Eli Manning trade never happened, he'd be more appreciated, and he was very good. I don't think Charger fans for a second would say we could have gone further if we had a different quarterback. That's not the way it goes. I think every Charger fan is extremely happy that Rivers was on that team. We asked Rivers the question once, would you rather throw 5 interceptions to Troy Polamalu in a playoff game or 1 interception to Weddle in a practice? He goes, throw those interceptions to Polamalu. He said Weddle and him talk so much trash that it raised the level of practice every single day. And no matter what, he did not want to throw an interception to Weddle because they just gave it back and forth to each other. I'll tell you my 5 favorite Chargers, and it's tough because I've been around them a long time. I've only had Kellen Winslow, I think, by the way, on the air maybe 2 times. Every other guy was fortunate enough to talk to a bunch. I was a huge Rodney Harrison fan. Cool as hell. I loved Rodney. I know he got suspended when he would not follow the quote NFL rules, but I love Rodney Harrison. And then he did an opening for the show once saying, one time I'd love to see Dave go across the middle so I could just smoke him. And say he's listening to the show. But he was cool. Rodney, not in any order, Rodney Jr., Phillip, Weddle, and I would probably go right now. I'd probably go Derwin James. Probably my 5 guys.
What about Mac? Yeah. Mac's up there.
I love Khalil Mack, but I don't think Khalil Mack's considered a Charger. Does that make sense? When you look back at Mack's career, you're going to think of Mack as a Raider or a Bear. I don't think you're going to look back at Khalil Mack's career unless they win a Super Bowl and go, that's just where he finished his career.
What about guys that the Chargers let go too early, where they had successful careers with another team after the Chargers? Does anybody come to mind?
Well,
first person, obviously, it's Drew Brees, right? I mean, that's the obvious one. Drew Brees. That's one of the worst ever. I mean, when he had his injury, they thought maybe he's never going to throw again or the same. Phillip Rivers is a first-round pick. We know what happened there. Besides Drew Brees, is there anybody that pops in your head? A couple people pop into my head where I say, I wish the Chargers would have held on to them a little bit longer. Was Michael Turner. Like, did people forget he was like a Pro Bowl running back for the Falcons right after the Chargers? Like, it would have been so cool to have him with LT a little bit longer. I know he wanted his money. He probably wasn't going to work out.
They weren't going to pay him.
Yeah, they weren't going to pay him. Who else comes to mind? Yeah, Sproles. Was Sproles a really good one? Can you think of anybody else the Chargers let go of?
Like Rodney Harrison, I would argue that he's more remembered as a Patriot now than a Charger.
You're right. Good one. Because he won. That's a really good one. And Rodney didn't want to leave. Rodney's feelings were hurt. Junior's feelings were hurt. Neither one of them wanted to leave.
And, I mean, Weddle too. I mean, there's still bad blood in that relationship.
Yeah, that was unfortunate too. And then Weddle got his Super Bowl ring. I mean, there's another Weddle coming up. His son right now is a highly recruited quarterback. He's only a sophomore. Going to be a sophomore this year, but he's a really good player. Wes Welker, Daniel says that's another one. I think we said for a long time. Mike G, you said Cromartie. I'll tell you right now, Cromartie wasn't well liked by his teammates. They were happy to see him go. There are guys in that locker room that want to strangle Cromartie. They just thought too many times he cost them. There are things that, Weddle would point out to me and say, dude, that's even though a guy's in another area and you're thinking, oh, that's the safety's fault, they would say it was because Cromartie is the one that didn't do the coverage the way it was called. And it would look like it was someone else's fault. But there are guys in that locker room that wanted to kill Cromartie almost after every game. They're happy to see him go.
Yeah, there's some good ones in here. Younghoe Koo, that's a very good one. Even though we love Cameron Dicker, Younghoe Koo ended up being, a very good kicker as well. Hunter Henry, who would have guessed that? Dave used to tell me he was in the locker room. Hunter Henry would have to move his kneecap back into place, like the scene from Mr. Deeds. Yeah,
just like that.
Yeah, who would have known he would continue to be pretty good after the Chargers?
He'd go to me, is this bad? And he'd take his kneecap and move it all the way around his knee. Just like in the scene of Mr. Deeds where that guy's in the diner. It was nuts. I'll throw this at you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
All right, this isn't going to be popular, but right here, I think about this all the time. Imagine if the Chargers kept Drew Brees, all right? And instead of drafting Eli, which turned into Phillip Rivers, they drafted Larry Fitzgerald. You would have had Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Antonio Gates, and LT on the same offensive side of the ball. Damn.
But what if Drew Brees reached what he reached without Sean Payton, though? Would he have been everything?
I think
so.
So.
That offense, probably.
I think so. I think so because, number one, if you ever met Drew, and I'm not saying Drew and I are close friends, I've been lucky enough to have Drew on the show a few times. Drew is a competitor. You've seen it. Drew was getting better. I thought the Chargers gave up on Drew way too soon.
What would you have done, though, if you have Phillip Rivers as the backup first-round pick?
No,
you mean you would have never drafted him?
Never drafted Phillip. You draft Larry Fitzgerald and said you have 4 Hall of Famers on offense at the same time. That's skilled positions.
People keep bringing up the same person over and over again. I'm going to tell you right now, he was one of my favorites, RIP, Vincent Jackson. I mean, what an incredible player. I thought Vincent Jackson was incredibly underrated. You can make an argument, I think, he's the most underrated Charger of that era. I mean, he was just amazing. I thought he was great. What do you think, Dave? Vincent Jackson, Sean Phillips? There's tons of good players in that era.
Yeah, there were. There were. Vincent
You
Jackson.
mentioned Hardwick, too.
Hardwick was great. Indiana.
Yeah.
That team had so many. How many Pro Bowlers were on that team? 8 during that era? You had a bunch of guys. Marcus McNeil, I think, made the Pro Bowl, the left tackle.
He did.
It was Cromartie. I thought Jammer was overrated, to be honest with you.
He was.
I don't know how people feel about him, but yeah, that team was great. I can't believe they never made the Super Bowl. I still bothers me. The Marlon McCoy thing.
What's more shocking? They didn't make the Super Bowl. At one time, they had the number 1 offense and defense rank at the same time to make the playoffs.
That's the most shocking. That's literally almost impossible to do, and they did it because they had the worst special teams in the history of the NFL that year.
Yeah,
it will never.
Willer's playoff says VJ. What's a VJ?
Vincent Jackson.
Vincent Jackson.
No, I was waiting for the line. If you have to ask, you don't need it.
Yeah, you can't afford it.
Yeah. What's that movie I'm trying to play?
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest. That's right. What's a VJ? If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Hardwick coached at my rival high school
And then
before the Chargers.
they went right back to the Chargers.
I should go try to beat his ass for it.
All right, we have a couple comments. I think Mario has to get out of here and pretty soon. So, AK 499 says next week I have my special announcement. Stay tuned. Mario and Josh, be ready for my fire. Let's go.
Wow.
Right. Looking forward to it, AK.
Holy cow!
Special announcement. All right.
I won't be able to sleep tonight.
Look,
Ryan
all right, I'm
Kohler,
curious to know,
$3.
What could it be?
He says, love it when Dave rants and then says, damn it after.
Dude, I don't even know I do that. That's funny that you said that. I'm sure I do. Normally, without a microphone in front of my face, most of my sentences start with F and ends with S. I cuss a lot.
Or you do it, damn it, and then you look away. That's what you do every time.
Dude, it's funny, man.
Now I know in editing when it's done.
You know, you pick up different things. I thought I watch a lot of Dodger and Padre baseball. My favorite move right now is Mike Schilt of the Padres. He'll just be on the railing, and it'll be a close play, and I'll just do the look behind, like, are we going to review that? Then he looks back, just go, like he's safe. Just go, like he's just so disgusted. It always makes me laugh. It's never this. It's always just keep playing. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I say "damn it" at the end of every sentence.
I think it was Billy Donovan one game. It was something like that. And you know how like it's a back row that does the reviews? He thought it was quick, and you just see him go, hey! He's pointing like probably some poor like intern dude. Or like some guy that's just like fumbling the camera, like he's sitting there going like that, waiting for him. I was like, God, that sucks to be that guy. He had no idea what was coming.
Oh my gosh.
You got a rant? You got a rant for us?
Yeah, my rant's going to be right now because I went through it a week and a half ago, and Josh went through it today. The traveling right now is out of control. Josh is probably shaking his head going, you're damn right it is. We cannot get the traveling right. This is supposed to be the hotbed season, and when people travel, everyone I know who's traveling is running into major problems. Now, you can sit there and blame it on the government. There have been bad problems before, but it is amplified now. I mean, the fact that Josh gets to the airport on time and can't get out because everything goes down is crazy. The fact I get flown to Las Vegas and have to sit there for 6.5 hours. I literally got on a plane, was asked to travel 50 minutes, and then sit there for 6.5 hours. I could have flown to New York City before that time. You know, it doesn't make any sense at all. But yet the way they throw us away as people who spend a ton of money on airline tickets, every airline's dropping the ball right now. I'm to the point, man, I do not want to get on an airplane for a long time. Josh, unfortunately, has to travel all the time. It's a nightmare. You just don't know. I got my flight canceled in the middle of the night. I mean, thank goodness I was up. Most people that I saw at the airport the next morning, what the hell? They were shocked. They just found out that moment their flight was canceled. It's BS. It's ridiculous that you're looking at $1 billion business that can't run like $1 billion business. It's insane. I get better service at Rite Aid, which is closing, going out of business as well. Where am I going to get my dog toys? God dang it. Damn it.
Dude, this makes me nervous. I got to travel next week.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna ruin our partnership right now. I don't care. American Airlines is the worst airline. Like I'll just say it right now. They will screw you no matter what. If you fly American Airlines, like be on guard lately because it's getting worse. Like, their flights are delayed. They'll cancel. They're just so unorganized. It's absolutely the worst. And then the people that work there are complete jerks. I mean, try to go Delta or Southwest if you can. I don't know what else to say. Roberto says $4.99. Said, listen to this one. I flew on Sunday and they sent my baggage earlier, so I had to wait for it for 4 hours. And then he says, American's the worst. He threw a choice word in there under. But dude, Roberto, me and you, dude, American is screwing us over. It's crazy.
Where are you flying to, Mario?
I can announce it now. I am driving to Chicago. And then from Chicago, I'm going to Florida for the annual Heron trip. And then after Florida, I am flying back to Chicago and officially moving into my Chicago apartment.
Nice.
Here we go.
Look at that. The big move. Chi-Town.
The Midwest kid's back, baby.
Central time, baby.
They thought I would never leave, or they thought I'd never come back.
Yeah, they thought you'd never come back.
How are you going to move your stuff? Yeah, you going to U-Haul it?
So I got movers coming in. They're going to take it. And then they take 2 weeks. So I'm like, that's fine.
2 weeks. Are they walking it over? What the F? What are you talking about?
This is supposed to be
what?
the #1 movers in America, according
Really?
to the research.
Horse
I
and
did.
carriage?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I
What are
hope
you
so.
talking about? How long does it take to drive from DC to Chicago?
Well, because they pick up other stuff on the way.
Oh,
They
great.
go, yeah. So they
I don't
stop
like the way
it.
that sounds at all.
Well, dude, last time I was trying, like when I moved from I think I told you guys about this. When I moved from Chicago to DC, I did like the third best because I was like, they're probably cheaper, and they were. And I got they had a flat tire, so it was delayed like 2 weeks. When I got my stuff, it was all broken, and then the guy asked for a tip, and I like looked down and go, "You have 5 minutes to get out of my face before I take what's broken," and I beat the shit out of you with it.
Wow.
I was so angry. I was so mad. And then
What
left.
in the world? Wow.
It's crazy, man.
It is. Why are you going to Florida? It's 100,000 degrees over with humidity.
Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, I am so sick of this. I've said this to now 4 different people, and I've gotten the ew. Why are you going to Florida? I'm like, it's one of the biggest destination spots for vacations in America. Like, what do you guys mean? It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Which part are you going?
Beach action. You guys are gonna make fun of me. Destin, Florida, baby, #1.
Why would I make fun of you?
Yeah,
You're
that's
going to the state of Florida.
Oh,
It's hot.
all right. I was not gonna lie. I was more prepared for war than I was gonna get.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Hey, you know
I'm
what?
not
That's
lying.
on me. On me.
I'm not
I
a
came in too hot.
humidity guy. I'm not a humidity guy.
I mean, no. I love, like, it's my probably favorite spot. Like, I just gone to it since I was 5 years old, and so I love going. But like, I was talking to somebody at work last week, and they're like, "I'm so sorry you have to go to Florida. I don't know why you would want to go there." I'd be like, I could give you a lot of reasons why people would want to go to Florida at like any time of the year. That was a weird comment. And then someone else I was talking to earlier today said that. Like, ew, why are you going to Florida? I'm like, my bad. Where do you want me to go? You planned my family vacation for freaking 15 people and 8 kids. 9 kids. 9? 9.
No offense, but isn't every family trip a family reunion with you guys? Like, you have a big
No,
family.
no, it's not a family reunion. This is just like the intermediate.
What's the intermediate mean?
So it's just like my siblings and their kids.
You mean Thanksgiving in Florida? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate Thanksgiving there. We're gonna do 7 fishes.
All right. I don't know. Hey, teach their own. You were out here in San Diego last August, and that was the hottest I can ever remember. San Diego was that time you were here, and there was no humidity then. I just can't stand humidity. I'm just not a humidity guy.
But
The
holy
wedding was
hell,
hot.
I tell people San Diego, that's my favorite city.
That's cool,
Holy
man.
hell, is it gorgeous?
That's
Come
nice.
back out.
Yeah.
I need to. Yeah, you guys we gotta have a meeting though. You guys gotta make some stuff more walkable. It's my only pet
Dude,
peeve.
you got to make it up at one of these Charger games we keep talking about. Everyone keeps saying when we go to a home game, but we just feel weird going without you, so we don't go.
Well, I'm about to be unemployed in about 2 weeks, so we gotta let me figure that out. maybe everyone listening, let's subscribe and donate for your boy for a little bit.
No kidding. We need a GoFundMe for Mario until he finds a job.
Gonna
That's
need
it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Oh my gosh. All right. Are we done? Because Mario has to get out of here.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Hey, appreciate the late notice that everyone that was with us. We see all the comments on the side as the show's going on. That is incredible. You guys were here. Sorry about the mix up. When are we back next week? Are we back to regular time Tuesday, 1 o'clock?
We're supposed to be.
Mario doesn't look confident. Are
No,
you confident?
I can do Tuesday. Thursday I will be hopefully through Pennsylvania and inbound. I'll probably be in Ohio at that point driving. So Thursday might be a no-go for me, but you guys can probably go. So you guys can just go without me.
All right.
All right.
Pennsylvania. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We're back next week, Tuesday, 1 o'clock Pacific time is the goal. That's what we're doing. If you guys get the notifications, you will know when we're going to surprise you with the show. Please like and subscribe to it. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone's here. AK can't wait for that big announcement. I hope you can do it on Tuesday because Mario needs to be here when it happens. All right. There we go. All right, Josh, travel safe. We'll be back next Tuesday, 1 o'clock Pacific time for Mario Heron, Josh Palais. I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you next week, everybody.